Yeah, see, I like talking about black people.
Once on This Island is, as you know, all about colorism. Can you talk about a time when your skin color negatively affected your professional work in the theater?
I try not to focus on all the times it can negatively and adversely affect my career. Some of the negative things I get I get passed over for things that I feel like I could do really well. Like, even if it's something they'll look for one of us for, they'll look for a lighter version of me to do it. You know what I mean? I remember one time I got called in for like a role that I didn't think I should have been called in for because of like the language. I was like, this is clearly a white man. Like, I was like, and the thing is, I'm down for doing roles like that, but not if the language isn't right. I remember that callback. I was like, first of all, I'm the only black person here, so this is uncomfortable. And I'm singing lyrics that are almost laughable because I feel like the lyric was something. It was something that made me feel like, wait a minute, you're making fun of almost making fun of slavery. I don't want to sing this, and they're like, you know what I mean? Like, it was one of those situations, and that's only one of many times that I've had to deal with something of that nature. So
this kind of ties into what we just said, but like, what challenges, or we could say challenge or challenges, and then after that, can you tell me what you feel your advantage is as a person of color in theater? Disadvantage and then advantage.
Right. As a black man, like, I have to prove that I can do it, that I can show up on time, that I can do the work. It's frustrating because I know me. Mm-hmm. I already know I can do it, and I give myself, I don't have to give myself the benefit of the doubt. Like, I just know this is what I do, because I take my job seriously, and we don't always get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the expectation. I always say it's, the subtle racism of lowered expectations, because that's all it is. They expect so little of us, and then,
if you show an ounce of that lowered expectation, it stays.
Right, and that's all you really see. And I was like, but what about all the amazing things I've done? So, we just have to fight against that. Always getting looked over for things that I think that I'm perfect for when I have the voice for it, but I don't have to look for it, which makes no sense to me because I'm like, it doesn't say anything about race in this role. It doesn't say anything about the way this person looks in this role, but I can sing the shit out of it, but you won't let me. So you're missing out, and you don't even realize it because you won't even give me a chance. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, you remind me. I think she told me. She's like, oh, you should be in Rent, but she didn't say just like Benny. Like the black character. She was like, you should play the role that Adam Pascal played, and I was like, yeah, that's the way I sing. You're listening to my voice.
Yeah,
you're listening to what I do on the stage and watching that, as opposed to just saying, oh, you're black. You should do that black role they have in that one show.
Ooh.
There's a lot of roles that I want to do that we don't even get considered for. I spend so much time thinking about what it is I can do because that's what we do as as individual performers. Yeah. But it started to dawn on me. I was like, wait a minute, I never even thought about singing this song. I never thought about singing that song. I never thought about singing this because people never really give you the chance to sing those things. And I was like, wait a minute, that's perfect for me. I would say some of the advantages. There's not many of me. And I'm aware of that. Black men and black women were like the commodity, especially black men. And I realized that that's the case across the board, kind of, because we're hard to come by, people that can actually do the job that they want. It's kind of easy in that regard to kind of find the gigs, but not really. I'm getting put into a box of trying to do those same couple shows, and I want to branch out because I want to do shows that mean something to me, but nobody produces those shows because, first of all, they probably don't have the company. They don't have the people to do it. So they just go and they do the stuff we've seen for years, the Hello Dollars, the Chicago. They do the Rent and the little shops and things. And there's so much out there, and the things that I feel like I want to do and I'd be best at. So we don't have that many options when it comes to roles, but I am a commodity, so those roles I guess we can get, but it's like the quality versus quantity.
Which black artists are you rooting for right now?
Oh, all of them. Everybody black. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't root for anybody until I hear you live. Until I've YouTubed everything I can find about you live, because there's a lot of
you never know.
Right. There's some people get famous.
They sound great in the studio when you get them on stage. It's
until I can see it, I don't believe it. Issa Rae, people like that, people that are like on the cusp of all this black empowerment that we're seeing. Because I'm like, it's kind of surprising, because it's like a movement that really has to come up like in the last couple of years. Like all this Black Lives Matter, Black Pride, all this stuff. We weren't doing this just a couple of years ago. We were not doing this. I'm all about it, but when it comes to a particular artist, anybody that got something relevant to say that's not the same thing that we've been seeing for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, however many years, anybody that wants to do anything that's not the norm. Even if I don't like it, just do something out of the box that I can at least be intrigued enough to watch. Even if I hate every minute of it, I want to see something I haven't seen 10 million times.
Thank you.
So,
that's why I like Kanye. But
yeah, right. No, he might push your buttons, but at least he's doing something. He's giving you you get some kind of response when you listen to him or you watch him. He is an artist, like whether you like him, you agree with his views or not. I like the obscurity. I like the artists who are like barely known.
It's successful, but like
it's successful.
But you can still go into Walmart and get what you need.
Right, you don't need to know my name. I want to be obscure as fuck. Like that's my goal in life, to be obscure as fuck, but still be working my ass off. Whether it be film, stage, whatever. I just want you don't even know my name. Just know my face. Yeah. Don't know my name. Just know my face.
Going into our final days of Once on This Island, what do you think you have learned from this experience?
It reiterated patience. It reiterated patience for me. That's all I can say. Because that is something I really do try to do every time I have any contract. It's like, if I haven't learned something from it, what's the point? I learned that I could do it. Because honestly, there's a lot of movement in this show. And, I'm an actor. That's the way I told you guys, hi, I'm an actor. I'm Bryan, I'm an actor. That's what I do. I don't be doing all this dancing they got me doing. But I've learned, honestly, it's kind of specific to this region, but I've learned that there is more theater in Louisiana than I thought. Not as much, but there's more than I thought, because I thought there was about 1%. And the 1% I wasn't interested in. Now I'm just happy to be in the show, because I've loved this show, specifically Once on This Island, for years. I've loved it for years, and nobody ever produced it. Overall, I've just learned that there is some amount of theater that we can do as professionals that's not the things we see every single day. I think the only other all-black cast I was in the theme park, and that was an anomaly. They didn't know how to handle us. They didn't know how we spoke. They didn't know how, like when we would try to explain things to them, and I would try to be the go-between. But be like, hey, this is what they mean. We're all black, but hey, you understand when we talk like this. You know what I mean? Like I would try to explain some of the things, because I did come from theater. A lot of people I work with at theme parks didn't come from theater. So I'm used to being in companies that are a lot more diverse, but there's so much beauty and strength in the fact that it's just all amazing black people doing what we do. There's strength in that because there's a community that's built up, and it's a community within a community, and it's still okay that we have this community. It's not like it's elitist or it's separate from any other community. It's just a community within a community. But this show is just basically we're telling a story. It's just all about us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we get to create the space.
Yeah, I'm always really stoked when I see just badass black people just doing what they do, because I always tell people, I've said this probably to a couple people around here, but I've traveled and I tell people everywhere I go, there is so much fucking talent in Louisiana. Everybody don't have the information on how to do it or how to make it a career or how to make it feasible fiscally for them. And the more people that know it's an option, the more shows we can do, the bigger things can be.
That's why I was so when we do performances for the students and everything, that just gets them thinking yes.
That's what happened with me with that show I was telling you, Jellies, when I saw Jellies on PBS. But then it happened, we did that. We did just what I saw when I was a little kid. We did it live for people. We did that for a whole bunch of kids. Way more than one, at least one. See, nobody was telling me that when I was a kid. You know what I mean? My mom didn't know about that. Because I didn't know. My parents didn't know about that. I got into theater by the skin of my teeth because, I had so many people that didn't know about it that were just saying, well, no, go do this, go do that. I was just but that doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? If I hadn't taken it upon myself, I probably wouldn't be in theater today if I had just gone left instead of right.
Yep. And
I'm really, really grateful that we get to do this, because if nothing else, we can give that back. That's all I have, as our artistry. I have my artistry. I can give you that. I can help you with that. That's all I can do, because that's really that's all I've allowed myself to do, because that's what I love. It's my passion, and I want to make sure I focus on what it is I do and make sure I do it well. And if I can give you that or gift you that, then, especially as a little kid, then I'm happy with that.
It wasn't that representation that made me stick with theater. It was the lack of representation that definitely made me want to stick with theater, because I was just I could leave this. and do something else and make money. But this is what I've been passionate about, and there's not a lot of me running around in theater in the highest tiers and in the lowest tiers. So it's frustrating, and watching it, seeing it, you can't just look away. I mean, you could, but your heart will take a stab from that. And so no, I definitely had to stay for that reason, for the lack of representation.